Okay, so we're making a painting, several paintings, and then making making it more 3D by raising the pieces. So if you have your sky like this, then you need to set your paper coming this way for your ground, because if you set it this way, it's not going to cover all the sky. Okay, so that is landscape. So of course you want to put your name on things and a class code. And now we will begin with a sky. The darkest part of the sky is on the top because it's close to the atmosphere where it is thin, and just like outer space, it's dark. And then it fades down and gets lighter towards the horizon line. Now, on your horizon line that is now part of this ground, you're also going to lighten it up. And if you accidentally put a big glop like that, you need to spread that out, or even scoop it back and put it back into the paint container, because if you put enough paint on here and then it dries, it will crack off and fall off of the paper. If you put enough paint that's wet, sometimes the paper disintegrates. So you really don't need that much paint. And you don't want to overwhelm your paper with so much paint. You just want to give it just the right amount so that the paper is happy and workable and does not fall apart, or the paint does not crack off of the paper later, because this is tempera paint and it will do that. Okay, so I have the two colors, and just like the sky, we're going to draw lots of little W's with our brush, or your finger. If you can't figure out how to dry out the brush and make it a blending tool, you can use your finger and dry out the brush, and you could smooth it, but I would recommend stroking with the brush. Stroke, stroke, stroke. And if it's getting too much of another tone into that area, the light tone or the dark tone, then you have to wipe it. Okay, now we're gonna move on up, and this is going to be the most vivid area because it's closest to you. So we're making it a dark color. Then you could also add little details on it later if you want, after you do all your blending, to show that there is other textures like grass or twigs or other things popping through. But for now, we're just going to get that smooth transition. So if you have these little spots that are not going away, you want to jump with your brush, called dabbing your brush. Jump, jump like it's on a trampoline. And then smooth it out with nice strokes. Now, I'm going to come back here, make my W's, W, W, W. Or you could slant through it like that. It's also a fun way to do it. And then, come back here. To kind of corner your paper here and keep it still. Oops, so I got some up here. That means I need to wipe and stroke through that area to give it a smooth transition. I'm almost ready for a piece of tape. This keeps moving. Okay, so that could be one type of ground, and maybe you have multiple ground lines. So you had some grass and then you had some dirt. If you have dirt, you're going to get a second piece. Make sure you label it. You could also do stone. You could do all kinds of different grounds. Snow. There we go. And then you can move on to a new paint box that has the 3 tones in it: dark, medium, and light. And then we're going to start out with the light because that's meeting the light sky. Oops, I didn't wash this out good enough, but we'll have some greenish brown. Okay. I'll just add another layer. There we go. That yellow brown is taking over a lot of the green. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the next color. And we have to work while it's wet, because if you just sit here for 5 minutes and then try to blend, it's not going to blend. It's going to be too dry. So, wiggle your brush through, lots of little W's or slants or swirls, whatever it takes, and then stroke through those so it smooths it back out again. And then to the darkest color, overlapping a little bit here. A little bit of dabbing to get these stubborn spots. And then stroke to smooth out any bumps. I'm keeping my paint pretty flat so it doesn't damage the paper. And then wiggle through. That's almost all the way blended, but now we have to smooth it out. And now you could do something fun, like show that there's contrast up here. Do some dab painting to make it look more like bark or mulch on the bottom here. And then it will fade out as it goes up higher, because it's more of a light color. Here. Oh, I'm getting too much of that dark brown. We'll smooth that out. I don't like that. There we go. Because the details fade away as they enter a farther part of the painting and towards the horizon line. Okay.